judgment in this hearing? I feel like, yeah, because I feel like they did not prove their case. They did not prove their case. What'd she prove? That she has limited experience with the Allegheny County Sheriff's Department, no official accident scene investigation?
All right, this is a citation that was issued on October 25th of last year on 124th Avenue there at City of Fenville. This is a failure to yield right away. On this citation, Mr. Jones, you have the option of, number one, you could admit responsibility to the citation, or two, admit responsibility, but you'd like to provide some sort of explanation to the court as to how or why this happened. Or three, you wish to contest this citation. In other words, fight this ticket at what we call informal hearing. What were you looking to do?
Your Honor, again, I'm going to fight the ticket, but, the last time we had this hearing, I objected due to the bias or potential for bias under MCR, I think it's 2003, and the hearing was adjourned by you and was remanded to Judge Scotzelis's courtroom, and I got paperwork saying that that's who I was supposed to be seeing today to determine whether or not a guy's CDLA and the fact that he could lose his livelihood because I'm a truck driver based on this ticket, whether or not I had a right to have a judge who was unbiased.
Yes, and I did talk to the chief judge about this, and we determined that this, well, first of all, you didn't file that in writing, you asked for that orally, but that if you want your informal hearing, that would be in front of me because you would have your right to appeal my finding.
Right.
So you wish to have a hearing?
Oh, you mean today?
Yes.
No, I'm still objecting based on the fact that you and I have pending litigation in the federal civil courts, and I don't think it's fair.
Well, we don't. You filed an grievance that was dismissed, so we don't have pending anything civil. I still
have time to refile, though. I still have time to get motion for reconsideration or to bring it to the next court.
But you didn't, Mr. Jones, and you didn't file a motion to actually ask for me to be recused. So your options are, you can have your informal hearing right now because we have the witnesses, or you can skip informal hearing and go to formal hearing. That would be in front of the district court judges, and then you could file a written motion.
Well, I could file a written motion in that court, the formal hearing court, but then I'm foregoing or having to subjugate my right to an informal hearing to get a judge who, with the appearance of fairness and.
Correct. You would be giving up your informal hearing, going directly to formal, or you could have informal hearing now, and then if you were found not responsible, I'm assuming you'd be done. But if I found you responsible, you would then have your right to take that into formal hearing.
Okay, so what I guess I can do at this point is proceed today because with a judge who has a potential for bias or the appearance of impropriety, and then that way I reserve or preserve that right to appeal that in the next court.
I can't give you legal advice, Mr. Jones. So,
because here's the thing: if I'm going to have to forfeit a right to have an informal hearing in order to have a hearing in a court where they will determine whether or not I have a right to an unbiased judge based on the fact that losing my CDLA.
Well, no, sir. The problem is you're just asking for essentially oral argument on that. You did not file any motions. So today is our time for informal hearing. There's nothing filed with the court. And so we're either here now to have informal hearing, or you could skip informal hearing if for some reason you wanted to do that and go directly to formal hearing. But those are your two options at this point.
Okay. So last time, this is the last thing I'll say about it. Last time we determined that, my argument had merit, and I was looking forward to somebody determining whether or not you had said you don't know if I actually have that right due to the fact that there wasn't a potential for jail time. I said, well, wouldn't my potential to lose my livelihood or an ability to make a living as a truck driver due to the sanctions that would be imposed if I got found guilty of this ticket, wouldn't that warrant me having a judge who is unbiased?
Sure. Mr. Jones, what it would be is my determination of I think I could be impartial, which I do think I could be impartial, and therefore have the hearing in front of me.
You know what, Judge Norbeck, I will proceed under objection. I reserve the right to raise it in later courts.
So anybody who may be testifying today, go ahead and raise your right hands. You swear or affirm that any testimony you give here today would be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Jones.
Yes. Yeah, I do. I do.
All right.
Yeah.
It makes a lot more sense for me to start with the officers. They'd have the burden to establish to me why you were issued a citation in the first place. But after that, you'll have an opportunity to either ask questions or testify in your own behalf.
Your
So,
Honor,
deputies, I'm not sure who's going to be testifying first.
excuse me,
Yes,
Your Honor. My FOIA request have still not been fulfilled to even get a copy of the police report. I have requested it. I've called down there. I've written letters, handwritten letters, and I still have not even received a copy of the police report. You know, and again, this is I believe a situation I have with the Allegheny
Sure.
County Court.
There is no discovery on a civil infraction, so we would be proceeding. Which
When I
deputy
leave
wishes
the
to testify?
I just want to see the police report, see what was said.
Well, I don't even know if there is a police report. All right, so Deputy Southwick, go ahead and proceed with your narrative somewhere where it makes sense to explain the issuing of this citation.
Okay, so on 10/25/2023 at around 4:14 in the afternoon, I was dispatched to a personal accident on 124th Avenue, close to 58th Street. When I arrived on scene, it was discovered that Mr. Jones was traveling westbound on 124th Avenue, where he then had lost something out of the back of his vehicle. I do not remember exactly what it was. He stated that he then pulled over to the side of 124th Avenue to go retrieve what had fallen out of his vehicle. He then tried to get back into the westbound lane of travel, where he then sideswiped another vehicle traveling westbound.
Okay, and so what citation did you issue? Failure to yield?
I then issued him, the citation for fail to yield right of way.
All right. And Mr. Jones?
Yeah.
Do you either like to ask questions or testify on your own behalf?
I would, yes.
Go ahead.
I guess I'm just gonna. What's the officer's name?
On video, there, Deputy Southwick.
Southwick. Deputy Southwick, how did you you say that I sideswiped another vehicle getting back on M89 westbound, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I guess first thing is, have you how long have you been an officer or patrol officer with the Allegheny County Sheriff's Department?
About 4 months.
About 4 months. So not an extensive amount of experience, but everybody's got to start somewhere. Where did you take your accident investigation or accident scene investigation training?
Kalamazoo Valley Police Academy.
And they actually offer accident scene investigation during your, yeah?
Yes.
And how long was it? And what kind of a degree or certification did you graduate that particular part of the training?
I don't understand your question.
Did you receive any kind of certification or degree or recognition of any kind that accident scene investigation was a part of that training?
I passed police academy.
So you're saying that the police academy offers accident scene investigation as part of their course, but it's not recognized as anything individually, correct?
I'm not sure of that.
Well, did you receive a certificate? Did you receive some kind of recognition stating you have a training and experience in accident scene investigation?
Yeah, I graduated the police academy, so that means that I passed all of the certifications.
Did you or did you not receive any kind of certification or special recognition that was something that you had completed? Is there a certificate? Is there a paper with little boxes on it next to the different things that you've completed? I mean, exactly. Well, let me rephrase. How many times have you investigated accidents in Allegheny County in the last 4 months?
Quite a few. I do not have a certain number.
You don't have a certain number?
No.
Because I mean, not just a forensic, files kind of guy.
Mr. Jones?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a certain amount of leeway here, but this is informal hearing. There are no rules of evidence for this hearing.
Wow. Yeah, I guess I don't even get any evidence for this hearing. I couldn't, I don't know what she wrote because I didn't get a copy
Sir,
of the police report.
it's a civil infraction. The rules of evidence do not apply to this hearing. It's not a crime.
But I still have a right, sir, to know what I'm being charged with and why.
The ticket is your indication of what you're charged with, sir. So at this point in time, I'm going to need you to move on.
Okay, so we established that Deputy Southwick has 4 months of training or experience with the Allegan County Sheriff's Department as a patrol officer. We've established that she has completed some kind of training during her police
Mr. Jones,
academy.
I do not need you to reiterate for me what the evidence is.
Okay, so last
You're
thing, we have
making argument.
right. Have we established that Miss Southwick has no specific training in accident scene investigation? So what, I guess I'll move on. What was your Officer Southwick or Deputy Southwick? Did you witness what you say just took place, that I was getting back on and sideswiped another vehicle?
I did not witness it, but I did talk to the other driver, and that is what he stated.
Okay. So now this is all based on what the driver says. And I mean, if I had just hit somebody, because I wasn't even on the roadway, did you take measurements at all of where the collision actually occurred? Was I even on the legal roadway, or was I still technically on the shoulder? Had I actually crossed the white line to get back on the legal? Do you know this, or has anybody taken measurements or determined where exactly in the lanes of traffic the crash occurred? Because I'm disputing the fact that I sideswiped anybody, because I know for a fact he hit me in my driver's door at 55 miles an hour because he was looking behind him at the gas can
Hey,
lane.
Mr. Jones, you're testifying, which you're able to do, but I want to bifurcate. This is
Okay.
it seems you're asking the deputy questions. That's essentially cross-examination. And then you providing your own narrative of testimony. That's two different things.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm just trying to establish the facts because I still, to this day in this hearing, I still have not received a copy of the police report. I don't know what they're saying I did, but here's what I do know, that I did not.
Well, let me clarify something for you, Mr. Jones. I suspect there may be a UD-10, but I suspect there is not an actual police report for a civil infraction.
Really? I mean, it was an accident.
Yeah, can you confirm? I'm assuming that you did a UD-10.
I did a UD-10.
Other than UD-10, did you create what we would call a police report as a criminal investigation? All right. There's your answer, Mr. Jones.
All right. So I guess I feel like I'm being, judged on this. We're having a hearing on this. I can't tell you what the facts that they're citing, so I can't tell you what facts are wrong, other than the fact that the deputy just said I sideswiped the vehicle. I think there's proof that, one, I was hit. I didn't sideswipe nobody. I was hit. How would I sideswipe somebody unless I went into the eastbound lane? I mean, Deputy Southwick, I believe, did not have the experience to get out and properly investigate the scene.
You're making argument again. So if you'd like to tell me your version of events, then you can make argument. But right now, you're just sort of arguing with the officer.
Okay. Deputy Southwick, did you speak to me at the scene personally?
There was 2 other officers who spoke with you.
Okay, so you wrote the ticket, though.
I did.
And you did not speak with me at all on the side of the road at the scene of the accident, did you?
I did not.
And you did not witness this accident personally?
I spoke with the witness.
Okay, so what you based it on was what the witness told you. Did you give him a breathalyzer or any kind of anything? No? You didn't determine whether or not he was under the influence?
There was no reason to believe he was under the influence of anything.
So if he just had a drink when he left work down at ConAgra, you wouldn't have known this because it hadn't, it wouldn't have registered on, with your extensive experience. I'm sure you know how to read people and drunks and whether they're telling the truth or not. They probably offered that at KVCC, I imagine, during the police training. But I guess my point is this. I'm wondering what exactly you based your report on, other than what somebody who sideswiped me or caused an accident told you it was. And again, this is just a demonstration of bias in Allegan County that I feel I suffer from, which is why I'm asking for a hearing outside of county.
Mr. Judge, or Mr. Jones, the deputy has testified as to why she wrote this citation. All right. Would you
Yes.
like to testify on why you think you're not responsible for this citation?
Well, I would like to know, I would still like to establish, Your Honor, what actual physical, tangible investigation was done. Did she even
Okay.
determine I was on the legal roadway?
Mr. Jones, she testified, she spoke with the other driver, got the facts of the case according to that other driver, and then determined that you would be issued a citation. I'm assuming the other driver was not issued any citations, Deputy Southwick.
No, he was
Well,
not.
that sounds pretty,
All right.
pretty,
So, Mr.
pretty
Jones, I
important.
need you to tell me my side, your side of the story.
Okay, Your Honor. My side of the story, since I'm being told I can't question the officer anymore, was there. I was driving westbound on M89. I was not driving at a accelerated rate of speed. The hatch on an Explorer that I had just purchased and put a tag on just a couple days before that. The hatch came open. A gas can flew out of the back of my vehicle. It landed in the very middle of the westbound lane. There was a lot of chaos behind me because now all of a sudden you have a gas can laying in the roadway. You have oncoming traffic. You also have traffic that was also traveling westbound, same as me. I pulled off on the side of the road. I'm going to run back and get my can. I pulled off on the side of the road. The first thing I did was shut the hatch and proceed to look back. I saw cars pulling off of the roadway. I saw cars swerving into the eastbound lane. I saw a guy that had stopped shortly behind me. He was making a turn, a left turn across the eastbound lane. And that's when I was getting in my vehicle. I was intending to go down, turn around, and come back and get my can. But what happened was, before I could even get back on the legal roadway, I wasn't even on the legal roadway. I was still on the shoulder with my turn signal on. Look behind me. There's that car turning. Surely nobody's coming, right? Because he stopped. About the time that I go to proceed back to the traffic lane or the westbound lane, this guy out of nowhere. I mean, I look and he's right there. I mean, my headlights are like a foot from my side, I guess. And he hit me, glanced off, went another, I don't know, 150 foot down the road. My vehicle was totaled. His vehicle received damage on the right side, but I doubt that any of this has even been reported. I don't know. Again, I don't know the facts of this other than what I'm telling you. But I know this: I never proceeded back onto the legal roadway. I did not sideswipe nobody. I was hit. Now I'm being told that the other driver wasn't even given a breathalyzer or any kind of anything to determine whether or not he was under the influence of something. Because clearly he was under the influence of being full of crap. Because I'm telling you right now, there's no way I sideswiped nobody. They wrote the ticket. It didn't make sense. They wrote the ticket for the failure to yield, but yet then turn around and cite me for sideswiping somebody. I can't sideswipe somebody and fail to yield all at the same time. I just don't see it unless I was in the east.
Well, I'll explain it to you, sir. If you're pulled over on the side of the road and then another car is traveling westbound on M89, they would have the right of way. So if there's an accident, that would be your failure to yield right of way. I would determine it would make a lot more sense that you turned into the car traveling westbound, as opposed to the car traveling westbound somehow left the roadway and struck your vehicle, who you're saying was not on the roadway. So at this point in time, I would make a determination that it's more likely that you were the one that failed to yield right away. At no point in time, you entering the roadway of M89 would give you the right of way. That would always be your duty to yield to a car that was already on M89 traveling in the same direction. So I would find you responsible on this citation as it's written. Now, because you had a contested hearing, you do have a right to appeal this. Say, I don't agree with what just happened there, and take this to what we call formal hearing in front of the district court judges with the prosecutor's office. Just to let you know, the prosecutor's office would then be involved in this case and would likely, I would think, subpoena the other driver as a witness. But for you to get formal hearing, you must do two things. One is you must ask for that within 7 days of today's date. Your window of opportunity to ask for formal hearing closes after that 7 days. And second, you must come in and ask for that formally, because you would need to post a bond. Do you understand your rights on appeal?
Oh, wait a second. Last time I had a bond in Allegan County, I had $20,000 cash and people standing in the bond lobby. Suddenly I had an emergency bond
Now,
hearing. Now my
Mr.
bond is
Jones, all that means
$20,000
is
cash
you
only.
have to post the same amount as the fine. So your
Okay.
bond in this case would only be whatever the fine amount would be. You essentially have to post that to have formal hearings. So you only have to post $135, sir.
Okay.
But you must come in and do that within 7 days of today's date. Do you understand your
Okay.
rights on
Yes, I
appeal?
do. Yes, Your Honor, I still object to this hearing. I don't know how we even established I was on the legal roadway. There
Okay,
was no investigation. But thank
we're
you.
all set.
Judge
I'm gonna go
Novak,
ahead
and
and
I
release
hope,
parties.
I think that I hope that you're not truly biased and sitting in judgment in this hearing. I feel like you are because I feel like they did not prove their case. They did not prove their case. What'd she prove? That she has limited experience with the Allegan County Sheriff's Department, no official accident scene investigation.
Mr.
And
Jones,
you
I've
didn't,
made my
you didn't
decision.
get
I'm
our
gonna go
tape
ahead and
measure.
release parties. Thank you.
Where's the tape measure? I object.
All right, we're all set. Thank you.
Thank you, Your
Your
Honor.
Honor.